So you claim, your words is that you like to speak your mind.
I try to speak the truth, my side of the story.
Okay. Have you ever been wrong?
Yeah.
All right. Do you ever have any regrets?
Son of a bitch. Wow. Lots.
Okay. Name one.
No.
Come on. I mean, you look. I went on YouTube and I searched Jimmy Spencer disputes or fights or whatever. The video is 44 minutes long. I didn't know they made YouTube videos that long. But you go back. I'm telling you, Mike McLaughlin, 2001 Talladega, Todd Bodine, your teammate. You know, you had all these things. So you're saying that there's none, like you wish you just had to take that back? You're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, Mike. You know, but, you know, my mom said never look in the past. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you supposed to do? You know, you regret it? I regret it, man. But why bring it up?
I got you.
Why the mistakes that I made? God dang, if I made better decisions on the motor builders, if I made better decisions on moves I made on the racetrack, if you question yourself all the time, wow, I'd have won 10,000 races. No, you can't look. You can't. I guess, you know, it's instilled into you. I remember my dad, you know, like, I regret. I went to New England and I won some races, and I told him, you guys are upset because I'm kicking your heroes' ass. What a dumb thing to say, right? Because now the fans hate me. I'd go there and I'd beat them. We'd go in and beat them. In fact, Richie Evans gets killed, and DeWitt Concrete, super guy, Mr. DeWitt, is going to put me in the car. He's going to give me the same deal Richie got, because Richie told him I was a hell of a race car driver. Richie and I raced for the championship in '84. I beat Richie. If it wasn't for Jerry Cook saying I had an illegal carburetor on. But that's irrelevant. You can't look back. Got second to him. I also went broke. Richie got killed in '85. Hutter calls me up. He says, Spencer, Mr. DeWitt wants to talk to you. I said, okay. Hutter puts the whole deal together. I'm going to drive the BR DeWitt car. Whew, what a great deal. Prepare, and I order 2 cars. The whole package is coming together. My first child is being born. He's born, Jimmy, 86. I go to frickin' thing. I get the phone call that Hutter says, you ain't going to believe this. He says, Gene's son says that he doesn't want a Pennsylvania guy in, he wants a New York guy in. You talk about getting your freaking heart ripped out. I says, holy shucks. One thing leads to another, and fortunately for me, Frank Cece has going to put George Kent in the car. George Kent goes in the car, in DeWitt car. I get Frank Cece. Well, Hutter says to Frank, he says, the best driver there is Spencer, without a question. He'll win the championship hands down. So one thing leads to another. Frank calls me on the phone, takes my resume over the phone, blah, 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 blah. And we go to the racetrack. We can't get the cars done. So I'm driving one of Frank's cars that Ronnie Kent prepared. So I'm leading the race in this car. Green car. First time I ever drove a green number 11 at Shangri-La, Owego, New York. And Kent passes me in the BR DeWitt car. And my brother was furious. He says, my brother doesn't get freaking passed leading the race. Something's wrong with that car. Well, the crew chief says there's nothing wrong with the car. My brother jacks it up. The housing was bent. Whew. So, long story short, they're looking at the car, and Frank says, that's a brand new rear end. And Ed says, brand new rear end, my ass. He said, that thing's a piece of crap. He looked at it. Here, Kent stole the rear end out of the car, gave it back to Frank. Because DeWitt's deal was he would give you credit cards, buy you tires, you owned your stuff, but he sponsored you. So one thing leads to another, and Frank Cece went over to Ronnie Kent, and Ronnie Kent says to him, get used to it. You can't beat us. We beat them by 200 and some points by the end of the year. But Frank, I owe Frank Cece a real lot, because that's how we ended up 86, 87 champion.
You raced in the Xfinity Series for him.
Yep.
In the 34. Y'all had 3 wins, and you're 8th in points, and they replaced you in the middle of the year with Randy LaJoie.
Buddy Baker called me.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Why did you not want to keep?
I come for one reason, buddy. I wanted to race a cup car, man.
So how did you tell
Interesting.
Frank?
He knew it. I helped him.
So you couldn't do both?
No, Dale, the way the schedule was,
Yeah,
you ran
yeah.
you ran a bunch of tracks that would compete.
That was like
I'm no airplane.
that was exactly what you'd planned for.
Yeah. I was broke, put it to you lightly. Me and Al were racing.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? When I first came down here, I won the championship. We won the championship, my family. My dad said, you can't race. You need to stay here. You're making too much money. You're winning too many races. I said, Dad, I got to do it, man. I got to go cup racing. I got to try it. And I went down to food country, and the crew chief wouldn't hire me. I went down to
The 75 car.
yeah, Mr. Great guy.
It was a good car.
What's his name?
It was a good car.
Yeah, but what was his name? He owns
I
a
don't
bunch
remember.
of good guy. He has a hell of a T-bird collection.
Yeah. I just remember they had that one driver forever.
Teague?
Yeah, Brad Teague.
Brad Teague.
Yeah.
Brad Teague spun me out my first bush race.
Did he?
He didn't spin me out. I'm racing that. So this is the year. So we come down here. Nobody wants to put me in the car. They go, you wreck. That was the
Yeah.
word. I wrecked. I said, if I wrecked, how do I win so many damn races in modifieds? I don't wreck people. And that was what the media did to me.
Yeah.
They used that Mr. Excitement.
Oh, yeah.
They could get away. Mark Gabriel was the worst son of a bitch there was, because I was racing in the Busch Series, and he would say that, oh, he's wrecking him. He's pushing him out of the way. And Frank Cece's wife would be home listening to it on the radio, and Frank Cece would say, damn, Jimmy ain't even got a bump on his car. What are they talking about? So he went to MRN to talk about it, and they wouldn't do nothing about it. He went to Mr. France. Because, Dale, it was bad.
They were painting your own.
Oh, my God, were they painting? Dale, if I was so bad, right, how did I complete
I remember
the most laps
Yeah.
of anybody the first year here with me and one other guy?
Yeah.
Me and one other guy. But anyway.
How would you character? What was the truth then? You tell us the truth. What was the truth about how
Hard-headedness.
Hard-headedness?
Oh, God dang, man. You know me, Mike. You worked with me, man. I was a little bit of a hardhead.
But
Stubborn.
were you guys? Would you call yourself aggressive? Yes.
There was a way to pass somebody. I never hit them. I raced them. Okay? you raced them. Now, if you held me up and I tried passing you 3 times, inside or outside, and you chopped me off, son of a bitch, you're not going to know I'm there. I'm going to move you out of the way. It's the way we raced, man. It's the way you raced. Because if you were racing, I remember finishing second to Mike McLaughlin in Owego, New York. Oswego, New York. I don't believe I was any faster. I don't think he was any faster. We had 2 equal cars. I could get to him. We could get, fantastic. But I never hit him because it would have been easy. That's not how you raced. You raced, you hoped the guy made a mistake, going back to the dirt days with Jimmy Nave. You kept the pressure on a son of a bay. You kept him nervous as hell. You look at the 5 car today. What's his name?
Larson.
Kyle.
Yeah.
You look at Kyle Busch. Those sons of bitches drive because they want to win. You got to admit that when you want something, that's what makes the sport what it is. It's not chocolate and vanilla. That's why there's 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins, because there's drivers out there. That guy right there, K.O. Yarborough, that was one of the most toughest drivers to ever meet. Bobby Allison, I drove for Bobby. To tell a quick story about Bobby Allison. Driving for Bobby Allison. Dick Moroso, drove for him. We won those races. And Bobby Allison, 4 races to go in the season. He calls me up. He goes, you need to drive my car. I said, okay, Bobby, I'll gladly drive your car. Bring your seat when we do it. We go to Charlotte, finish 4th. We're going to win the race. Going to win the first cup race ever. We're running 3rd, get into 2nd.
Where's this? This is
the fall race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Catching a leader. And for some unknown reason, the car gets real free. I get close to the wall. I think I might have touched the wall. And it gets real free. And I call the radio, Jimmy Fanning, one of the best crew chiefs I ever had. He says, Jimmy, I says, my car's getting free right now. I think I got a tire going down. Are you sure? You sure? You sure? I relive it all the time because I didn't hit the wall. And all at once I slowed down. He says, slow down that speed. There's only 20 laps to go in the race. We ended up finishing 4th. And the next morning, I'm taking the 2 kids to school. And Bobby calls me about 8 o'clock. He goes, Jimmy. I says, yeah, Bobby. He says, I need you to come to the shop right now. So I get my truck, haul ass over, and the truck arm was broke. Truck arm was broke. And I couldn't believe it. So then we went to Rockingham, going to win the race at Rockingham. No question in my mind. Your dad knocked my bumper off that day. I loved your old man. We were racing pretty hard, and he knew I had a good car, and I had a good, and I might have went to turn, and when he knocked the rear fascia off my Thunderbird, it made it about 0.3 of a second quicker.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And that son of a bitch is flying, right? Last pit stop. The frickin' air gun breaks. That's when you were allowed 2 air guns on the right side and 1 on the left side. Bobo, and we finished 7th. Come back out to Phoenix. We're racing to Phoenix. Going to win the race. Davey Allison's leading the race. Have bad pit stops all day. I say to Bobby, I go, Bobby. I said, last pit stop, we come out 2nd. 28's in front of us. Davey's leading for the championship. I'm thinking, well, I got to protect Davey. I says, Jimmy says, how's everything? I says, not good. Whoa, what do you mean not good? Keith Allman. I says, you'll see in about 20 or 30 seconds. Coming down pit road, had an open face helmet on. Mike Keys. I look, Bobby Allison. Jimmy, there's no problem there. And I went, I'm quiet. He goes, now you remember, you've done a great job. This team has done a great job today. We need to finish what we started out to do. And that's win this race. That car is just another obstacle in our way. And I'm like saying to myself, this can't be true. I cannot be hearing this. So Bobby keeps talking. Now he says, you remember, that car's racing for the championship. You race him that you know he's racing for the championship. Now you go and get him. And I got him. And I'm passing him on the inside, and the motor blows up. The lifter breaks. I end up finishing 5th. And then we went to Atlanta, and Dale and Davey gets wrecked. And there was a great memory. Alan Quickie and the Budweiser car, Jr. Bill Elliott. So I got the car, and I'm fast. I'm driving the bestest number 12, and I can race with these guys. So I'm up there, and I start messing with them, and I'm like, whew. And as the race progresses, I'm like, wow, I wonder what's going on. So what was going on was my fat ass was wore out. I mean, wore out. So I come on the radio, and I said, wow, car's getting a little tight right now, okay? So the last 150 laps of the race or whatever, I couldn't race with him. I'm glad I didn't.
You were falling out of the seat?
Oh, I fell out of it. Not falling out.
You fell out.
Oh, my God.
You dropped it.
I fell out. I ended up finishing 4th. Come in, and I called him on the radio, and I said, Jimmy, I need you to come up in front of this hauler. So Bobby Allison comes up, Jimmy comes up, and I said, I could have spoiled that event today. Bobby said, I know you could have. And I know what happened. And I'm going to help you. And my perspective from that race and the one before at Phoenix, I said, that's a hell of a race team. I'm staying driving for them. My phone was ringing off the hook. Rick Hendrick, Richard Petty, Junior Johnson, all of them. And I said, I'm staying with Bobby Allison. Great race team.
So you stayed?
I stayed, Dale. I stayed. We were 9th in the points. We ran no money.
Yeah.
No money.
How did you get the call and finally go to juniors?
Well, that's a sore subject because I was driving for BA. R.J. Reynolds wanted me to drive for them. T. Wayne Robertson.
For junior?
No.
For Bobby?
No. Yes. T. Wayne Robertson wanted me to drive R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company.
Wait, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
I think that was something to do with your old man.
Yeah.
Okay? They were going to sponsor Bobby Allison. Bobby Allison didn't know how good of friends Junior Johnson and T. Wayne Robertson was. McDonald's is on the 94 car, with Hut Strickland driving it. So Junior says, I'll put Spencer in the 94 car for 1 year, and then I'll put him in your car from then on. Junior was at the tail end of his career. He was ready to quit. Love him to death, man. Fortunate to get my wins with him. When we won at Daytona, Junior put his arm around me and said, you're 2 or 3 years too late, bud. And I didn't realize that was to the time. And then I realized. But they took that R.J. Reynolds tobacco deal from him in 1993 when I raced for Bobby Allison. So we had Meineke on our car. Mm-hmm. $900,000 is all we had. I drove for little to nothing because I loved that race team. Jimmy Finning, the Allman brothers, them sons of bitches, we had a hell of a race team. Should have won some races. And that you regret? Yeah, I regret those guys never got a sponsor with me. That's what I regret. Mm-hmm. But Junior come to me, and I waited as long as I could, and I sit down with Bob Bilby, Bob Bilby, and the guy from, he owned Hagerstown, I can't remember his name. Bob Bilby and Bobby Allison, and anyway, that's awful. I can't forget. Anyway, so they kept promising me we're going to get a sponsor. So Junior, Barney Hall kept coming. Hey, you know, the Hollow's waiting for you. The Hollow. You know the Hollow.
Oh, Juniors. Yeah, Juniors.
The Hollow. And I says, Barney, I'm standing where I am. He ain't going to sponsor. I said, how do you know that? They knew. I mean, it was so I went to Bill. And Bill says, I'll look into it. Bill told me. I went to your dad. And I told your dad, I said, here's the contract. He says, tell him this is what you want. You go to drive for Junior. And I did.
Earnhardt told you that?
Oh, man, Earnhardt.
So if he'd have said something else, you'd have done something else? I mean, you really would have taken whatever he advised?
I trusted him.
Yeah?
He said it's a hell of a race team, but you can't beat money. You can't. I had a 3-year contract for Junior for lots of money. Lots of money. And I'm like, whew. And Dale said, you just take that son of a bitch. Let me tell you about money. We're racing.
We got some questions, though, about this 94 car that
Okay.
we got to make sure we get to. Not that I don't like stories about money.
No, I'll tell you quick about this story. It's quick. So I'm hurting for money. I moved down here, Frank Cece and I, and I'm struggling, and I finally get my cup ride with Baker, and I'm broke. And I'm always to your dad's shop. Your dad was struggling at the time with his team. He calls me on. He says, Spencer, I want you to come to the shop. So I go to your shop, and Dale says, sit in that seat. So I sit in the seat. Yeah. He says, need you to do me a favor. I want you to go to Indianapolis, practice this car the whole 9 yards, because I got to go to do the IROC race. I says, no, Dale, I can't do that. I said, that's an off weekend. I promised my wife and kids we're going to Carowinds. He says, I promise you'll be at Carowinds. I says, Dale, what if it rains out? He says, I will fly the goddamn airplane down to get you home. You got my word. That's all I needed. That was the best time. I went with your Tony. You had two good guys when you raced. Because you come to Richmond and kicked our ass in the one car. I remember that story, too. They were gunning for us, and they beat us. But anyway, I went to Indianapolis in that car, and I'm practicing in it. And I didn't like the way it was rolling the center of the corner, and I told Tony, and they worked on it a little bit. Never told him what to do. Just drove the car. And I said, man, you guys fixed it. And he says, no, we got to do something. So they changed the arms, camber gains. I says, man, Tony, that son of a bitch is on the money. We got to qualify. The old man comes in. What do you think, Spence? I said, I got a dead neutral. If anything, it's a little free on entrance, but that son of a bitch comes off that corner. He went from the rear of the field to the lead the race. Mm-hmm. Lug wrench, something broke. He ends up finishing third. Never in my life seen so many people at a race. And talking about fans, the night that me and your dad wrecked at South Boston, I never in my life saw so many people at a racetrack. So now I'm standing there by the end of the hauler, and he says, leave your bag there. Come on with me. So we go to get in the airplane here. We're in the van. We drive over, and I forget who was promoting the track, and here comes your dad out with a sack of, I know what it was now, it's cash. And I get in the airplane. We fly home. He takes me home. We sleep. I fall asleep and anything. One thing, him and Teresa. So we landed in Spencer. We land in Spencer. We get up. He drives me home. My pickup truck's sitting at the shop. Drives me home. Teresa hands me the envelope. I go and throw it on the table and go to bed. 7 o'clock in the morning. Hey, yeah. She says, do you know how much money is in there? And I says, no. She says, there's $9,000 in there. I went, what? She says, I saw you made a mistake. So I said, don't worry about it. We put it in place. We go to Karen's. I go back over there Monday. Your old man's sitting there signing autographs, doing his deal. I come in. I throw the envelope down on the thing. Well, Doc, what's the matter? I says, you made a mistake. Straight as a face. He goes, why, you want more? I went, no, you can't be serious. He says, you did what you did. But meanwhile, your dad knew what was wrong with his race team. I says, Dale, I didn't do nothing to your race car. He says, you got a hell of a race team. He says, what's wrong? I said, well, you got to know what's wrong. He had Fisher motors. They were junk.
They were terrible.
They were freaking junk, Dale. They were junk.
He complained about them all the time.
Oh, my God, they were junk. But he knew, and when your dad done that to me, that was pretty special.
Life is best lived in motion. And that's why Tire Pros gets you ready for all your driving adventures. Whether it's along corners and curves, across city and state lines. Because we're more than just tires. We're auto care too. Tire Pros, so you can focus on the road ahead.